All right, hello and welcome everyone. So as usual, I'll just wait to get some feedback that you guys can hear and see me, and then we'll get started. All right, can you guys hear or see me or both? All right, perfect. Ashley can see us. That's all I need. All right, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about SEO versus PPC, which one you should be using and why, good advice versus poop. So let's get started. I'll go ahead and do full screen. So as usual, be sure to put in your questions in the comments and I will get to them either at the end or afterwards. I'll reply to all your comments. Feel free to engage. And I'm going to be putting a Zoom link in the end, and then we can, if you guys have any questions, we could jump in on Zoom. Hopefully it'll work this time. But all right, let's jump right into it. So what are we going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about the difference between SEO and PPC and which one you should be prioritizing this year. Short-term versus long-term revenue strategies. Short-term versus long-term revenue strategies we're going to be covering. And we're also going to be covering how to choose the right marketing strategy for your specific business this year. Really, really important. So this is obviously for anybody in the party rental industry. The stuff we're going to be talking about is really for anybody that's got a business website. But since we run our own party rental company, then that's what we're going to be covering specific examples for. If you want to grow your business online, you're just not sure what the next steps are to take for your specific business where you're at, and you want to learn how to choose a marketing strategy for your business that works. Real quick, for those of you guys that are not sick of me introducing myself, I'm Tariq. I own Bounce My House Party Rentals in Chicago, and we recently started Event Hawk digital marketing agency for the party rental industry, where we help with party rental growth and marketing strategies. So let's jump right into it. PPC versus SEO. Long list here, but it's pretty straightforward stuff. So PPC stands for pay-per-click, and SEO stands for search engine optimization. All right. Pay-per-click is also referred to as paid ads. SEO is also referred to as organic search. If you ever hear somebody refer to organic search or paid ads, then they're talking about SEO and PPC. Examples of PPC are Google ads, Facebook ads, Bing ads. Those are all examples of pay-per-click ads, where you pay for each click or for each view. If you're doing like YouTube or Facebook, a lot of times you pay per view, not per click. Examples of SEO would be optimizing your website to please the search engine, to please Google, to make it good for Google, or optimizing your Google My Business listings. Those are examples of SEO. SEO is free. Technically, SEO is just something that, it doesn't cost you money. You can just go in and optimize your website or optimize Google My Business. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. With pay-per-click or PPC, you have to pay Google, or you have to pay Facebook, or you have to pay Bing, depending on where you're running ads. Now, keep that in mind when we talk about the next steps, because if I'm telling you that Google has a free option and a paid option, you can imagine which one is going to be performing better. So that being said, PPC results are instant. You can see results in as little as hours or days. With SEO, it might take you weeks or even months to start seeing results. So it's kind of like you get what you pay for type thing. With PPC, what's really cool about PPC is results are very easily measurable. You can measure, this is how many clicks I got, this is how much I paid per click, this is how much money I got. And if you're using like ERS or Inflatable Office, we can get down to the penny how many dollars you got back for every dollar you put in. So if you put in $100 in Google Ads and you got in $1,000 in orders, then you know that comments, if you're going to put in $200, you get $2,000. So when you start out, maybe you only want to spend $100 a month, but then you start seeing the money coming in, you start seeing the easily measurable results, so you can make data-driven decisions and really grow with PPC. With SEO, it's a lot harder to track results. I mean, you could definitely do that through Google Analytics, but it's not as easy to know if you make this change, what kind of results it's going to have. on your orders or on your revenue. Another big thing about pay-per-click is that you can change your listings very frequently and they'll update instantly. So if you, let's say, you have a new product that you want to push, or COVID hits and you want to tell people, hey, we clean and sanitize our stuff. With PPC, you can do that overnight and change your message and it'll reflect instantly. If you try to do that with SEO and you're already at the top, it doesn't reflect immediately. It takes time to go back and climb back to the top. So SEO takes a little while for the results to update. With PPC, you can get in much higher than SEO. So you can get all the way to the tippy top, #1 spot at Google. With SEO, you can only get so high. And obviously, Google's not a charity. That kind of tells you what's going on here. They're going to give preference to their marketers that are willing to pay. So the top PPC spot is always going to be above the top SEO spot, and the top SEO spot is always going to be below the top SEO PPC spot. Hope I didn't confuse you with that last one. And both of these you can do yourself. I mean, you don't have to necessarily hire Google or hire a professional. You can do them yourself, but for the best results, you definitely want to pay a professional because, as you guys know, a lot of times doing something yourself can be a lot more expensive than paying somebody to do it professionally. So those are pretty much the basics of PPC and SEO. So now I'm going to show you guys kind of like a graphic representation so you guys can see really the difference between PPC and SEO on a Google search page or Google search. So if we looked at car rentals here, this is what we would find in my area anyway. And you'd get a bunch of listings. So Google's going to put the PPC listings at the top, and then under them, you're going to have the SEO listings. So if you worked on your SEO until you're blue in the face, this is as high as you can get, okay? These spots are always going to be reserved for people who are willing to pay for them. Now, big question is, how much do these spots cost? All they could pay is, I mean, we've had as little as 5 cents a click to $2, $3 a click. Every area is different, but when you're measuring the results, it doesn't matter because you know how much you're getting in return. So that's kind of how it is. And with these, notice how each of these has their own message. 40% off, $9 a day. They're all competing with one another. Every day they can change a different message to see what kind of results that gives them. These guys down here, if they want to go ahead and change this to say, COVID cancellation policy, or we disinfect, or some kind of special they have running, they're not going to be able to do that instantly. It's going to take time to re-rank at the top. So that's really the main difference between PPC and SEO. Essentially, at the core of it, pay-per-click is a short-term revenue strategy, while SEO is a long-term revenue strategy. So pay-per-click is going to help you make revenue in the short term, today, tomorrow, next week. SEO is something that's going to help you make money in the long term. So they're definitely both important for your business. So before we talk about kind of what to prioritize, which one and when, let's go ahead and talk about some other long-term and short-term strategies. And again, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments. We'll get right back to them. So short-term and long-term. We already talked about SEO and pay-per-click. A short-term strategy, again, is something that you do that's going to generate revenue fairly quickly. A long-term strategy, revenue strategy, is something where you're willing to leave money on the table this year so that you can hopefully make even more money next year, right? So you're gonna be more than happy to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna turn down this offer. I'm not gonna take this job because this is kind of doesn't align with my values, so that I can continue to build myself up as this reputable brand. Again, you're gonna turn down money this year, but you're hoping that in the long run, that's gonna benefit you. So not everybody can do that. And again, let's talk about some more strategies, and that'll kind of help you realize which of these you should be following. We already talked about PPC and SEO, and PPC and SEO are both strategies to drive traffic to your site. That's the ultimate goal of pay-per-click and search engine optimization strategies. The whole goal is to drive more traffic to your website, the right traffic to your website, right? So what happens when you get that traffic to your website? Well, the data tells us that 99% of the time they don't convert, right? So conversion optimization is a very important short-term strategy that gets you more money, more sales, more calls, more messages, more form fills out of people who visit your site. So this is something that is going to be a short-term revenue strategy. Remarketing ads. when was the last time you visited a website and purchased from them the first time you visited the site? Unless it's Amazon, right? Other than Amazon, that's where we visit a site, we want to leave, we want to think about it, want to compare reviews, compare prices, sleep on it a couple days, then come back, and hopefully we remember which website we were on. Otherwise, we just buy from somebody random. Your customers go through the same thing. Remarketing ads make it so that you can follow people around. If you synchronize your remarketing ads with your pay-per-click marketing, then you can follow those people who visited your site but never purchased, and follow them with ads that like YouTube ads or Facebook ads, and continue to remind them of your product, and maybe even offer them a special offer to book now. And those, we started doing that just in 2020 for the first time. And those are very, very cheap ads if you do them correctly, but you get very, very high revenue from them. And they're very, very important, very effective, very short-term revenue strategies. They work almost instantly. Landing page optimization. Again, you pay $1, $2, $3 a click for these ads, for these clicks, and then they leave and they never come back. A landing page optimization is where you're going to optimize these landing pages so that you get something from these people before they leave. A phone call, a form fill, a contact us, a lead, something before they fill, and those are before they leave, because especially when it's paid traffic, these are things that that are going to really, you're going to see the difference instantly. You're going to all of a sudden realize that, hey, I moved the map up on my page, I optimized my landing page, I moved the map up to show people that I'm in their area, all of a sudden I'm getting more calls. So that's something where you're going to see almost immediately. Customer reviews is another big one. When you have customer reviews, you get more sales and you get bigger sales, because now you have the confidence. We took a company this past year from 70 reviews to around 73. They now have 232. That helped big time with getting, again, increasing their average ticket, because now anytime somebody complains about their prices, they don't have to sell them. They say, well, here's 232 people that can tell you why we're totally worth the extra $50 that you pay with us versus our competitor. They let the reviews do the selling for them. And we all know that's the first thing we look at, Google reviews. When we're looking for a product, we want to go and look at the reviews and make sure that we're making good choice. It gives us that reassurance. So that's something that you feel instantly. And then finally, automation. Automation is a big one, whether you have a booking software for automated bookings, automated emails, automated texting. These are all things that make it so that you can take on more work and make it a lot easier for people to go ahead and book with you and stay on top of them, so you stay on them. So all of these are revenue strategies that bring in revenue fairly quickly and almost instantly. So let's talk about some long-term revenue strategies. We already talked about SEO. Branding is where you're going to brand yourself as the type of company that does this, or we're the company that focuses not on price. We're the company that focuses on value. We want to bring memories and smiles to you. If you go ahead and brand yourself that way, or start branding your website that way, you're not going to see results instantly, right? That's something that's definitely going to pay off in the long run. Maybe in a year, 2 years, people are going to start, when they think about making memories or their kids smiling or having a good time, they're going to think about your company. That takes time, right? You just have to realize that while that's an important thing to do, it doesn't work overnight, and you have to think about where your company is. Do you need the money now, or do you have the convenience to leave money on the table for today so that you can make more in the future? Same thing with a business plan, right? Business plan. Now, you guys go ahead and mention in your comments, for small businesses, how many of you guys actually put together a business plan before starting your party rental business? I know I have my hand down. Right? If anybody did, you're my hero, really. I mean, business plan is something that everybody talks about you should do, but let's be honest, small business, we wing it and we wing it and we wing it until we make it, and then we start backtracking and say, holy crap, I need a business plan. So that's definitely important. Having a mission, vision, values, those are really things that are really important, going to help make sure that every single bounce house that's set up is set up exactly the same way. Your customer knows what to expect, just like McDonald's, right? Every burger is exactly the same. The McDonald's experience is the same everywhere you go. That's what people expect. That's what a business plan allows you to do. But again, it's something that is going to happen over time. Publicity and PR, again, branding yourself and having a public name for yourself, that's something that pays off over time. Building partnerships with local churches or with local businesses and partnering yourself with them. It's going to take a while for people to start connecting you with charities and with this and that, but it'll pay off in the end. And then finally, high-end pricing. By us saying that, you know what, we're not the cheap guys. If you guys want the cheap guys, go somewhere else. We focus on quality. We focus on delivering value. you're going to leave a lot of money on the table by doing that, but that's fine because you know that eventually 1 year, 2 years, with having the right stuff to back you up, people will start seeing you as, wow, if you want quality, you go to this guy. So the question isn't really which of these should you do. The question is, what percentage of each strategy does your business need right now? And really only you can answer that question. You need to kind of know where your business is and what percentage of each do you need. And from my experience, this comes down to kind of my opinion. Let me move this here. And just kind of my experience as a small business owner, having succeeded in some businesses and failed in a lot of other businesses. This is kind of how I see things here. I failed many businesses before succeeding in these last couple. And unfortunately, a lot of the time I failed because when I was a startup company, I focused on these things right here. And it put me in debt, and it put me in really trying to be something that I'm not, and I just didn't have the revenue. So that's kind of something you got to realize. When you're a newer company, when you just got to pay your rent and you're not paying yourself and you're taking out loans and you're struggling in the off season, picking up extra shifts, working other jobs, you really need the cash flow. You really need to do more of this stuff, right? You can't afford to be focusing on this stuff. It's definitely important, but you want to do, and these are just ballpark numbers, don't quote me on these, but you really want to do a lot more of the short-term strategies when you're newer than the long-term strategies. And then as your company grows, you start to pick up more of these long-term strategies. As you start to have more help, as you start to brand yourself, you really want to start to strengthen your brand in your company. And then when you're an established company, that's when you're going to be at a closer rate of about 50-50. So it's really important for you guys to realize where you are at. And there's no set way to define what's a startup company. Is it making X amount of money? Is an established company, where you, after you hit $1 million or after you've been in business 10 years? There's just really no right or wrong way to do that, because we know that there's two companies that have been around for the same amount of time. I'll maybe make a similar amount of money. One's doing great and has a great profit, and the other is constantly just burning through money. So it's really up to you to define kind of where you see yourself and what your needs are. And I say that because there's a lot of blanket advice. Our Facebook groups, man, I really wish I knew about these Facebook groups when we first started, because we found out like 2 years in, and you learn so much from these Facebook groups. We have really, I'm part of so many Facebook groups, and our groups, people just love to help other people, and it's really, really a beautiful thing. We have such an engaging industry, and it's really beautiful. But that being said, a lot of the advice that gets thrown out there is just blanket advice, and what works for one company definitely won't work for another company for a lot of reasons. So that's just something that really kind of hits me close to home, because I've been burned with that before. So you just got to really be careful. You have to decide how you're going to run your own business, and when you take advice from somebody, you need to know, are their goals aligned with your goals? You have to ask them these questions. Are they following their own advice? Are they how long ago were they in your shoes? That's a big question to ask, because if they were, if you're a startup company comparing yourself to an established company, just because you do what they do doesn't mean you're going to get the same results they got. If they were in your shoes, let's say you're comparing yourself to this company and they were about your company size 10 years ago, a lot of their advice isn't going to be relevant now. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. So comparing apples to apples to make sure that, they have a similar market to your market, similar customers to your customers. These are all really things to take in mind when you're taking advice from people. And for us, we kind of, when we started, event professional marketing and Event Hawk, we really wanted to do all these things because we know it's all really important. But because we have mostly growing companies and startup companies, we mainly focus on these things. And these are the things that we're good at. And again, you can do a lot of it yourself. Nobody says that you have to pay anybody to do any of this. You can do it all yourself, but like we said, you kind of get what you pay for, and doing it yourself and learning through trial and error is a lot of times a very slow and painful way to grow, and it ends up doing more damage. And we only have a short period of time to grow over here. So I know it's hard though. The reason that I started doing what I'm doing digital marketing for our industry, is because I wasn't happy with the guy that was doing my stuff. I didn't feel like he did a lot of work. I felt like I was being overcharged and he wasn't doing much. So I get it. So, for us, we really have two things that back up what we do, which are results that we can show you and testimonials from current customers. always look for people that have those two things. Anything that you need to be done, don't just kind of go by, you know, this guy referred me, this guy, just you really want to see their results and their testimonials. We're really good. Oops, sorry. Speaking of, we're really good at these things again because we have the results and testimonials. I'll show you guys that in a sec. But you know, we're Google Ads is what we started. That's our bread and butter. We wanted more traffic to our website, and we're really good at Google Ads, and I'll show you guys some of those results. Event Hawk is how you get more conversions. Facebook ads, we hit those out of the park this year. We can build landing pages, get you more reviews, and automation is another big thing that Event Hawk brings to the table. So you guys probably seen some of our reviews on our Facebook page. These are pretty old. We have some newer ones as well. But people come in and you know, they just leave honest reviews, and a lot of these people you guys know. So that's one big thing. I mean, you guys, these are people that you guys know, and you guys can ask about how we do what we do and whether we're honest, whether we're organized, whether we're punctual, whether we get back to you in a timely manner, or we take 2 weeks to get back to you. Those are things really important. And then we also have our results. So, I mean, Google Ads is really the most important thing. I hope that you guys took out of this that Google Ads is every company, whether you're a startup or you're an established company, PPC is where you're going to get most of your revenue and the fastest, right? It's not really something that you can give up on at any point. And I'm just going to show you guys some of our results and how we do. And we track, again, through, if you have a booking software, ERS or Inflatable Office, we can help you track down to the penny what you're making. So for example, you know, this is a company that spent $1,300 over on Google Ads, and they made about $10,000 from $1,300, right? That's like a 8-to-1 return on investment, like 800%. They paid 88 cents a click, and their click-through rate was 16%. So, you know, you need to, if you're running Google Ads or if you have somebody running your Google Ads, you need to log in and take a look at your numbers. If they're close to this, great. If they're way off, then you need to kind of get a second opinion, and there's nothing wrong with that. We give second opinions all the time for free. We don't charge for that, and a lot of times people work with us, sometimes they don't. So that's one example. So this is this is an example of a startup company that's new. They didn't really have a lot of money to spend over the summer. They only spent about $1,300 throughout the whole summer, and these are the results. They made about $10,000. So it wasn't free, but we can now see that for this coming year, they know how much they can spend and what they can expect. This is like a medium company that spent about $3 grand and made 30 grand. Same deal. And then this is a larger company that spent $8,000 and made $65,000, 92 cents a click. And then this is a very large company that's well established that they've, you know, again, results vary. I'm not going to tell you everybody gets these results, but this is a company that's been around for a while, and we kind of utilized their brand and all that stuff. And they spent $11,000 and made $220,000 over the summer. So these are all things you want to look at when you guys compare. Last thing I'll leave you guys with is vision without action is merely a dream. You guys have a vision for your business, right? You guys want to make it somewhere. If you don't take action with some of these short-term and long-term strategies, whether you hire us, you hire anybody else, or you do it yourself, you really got to take action on this stuff. And you got to study this stuff. And obviously you guys are here today because you guys want to learn this stuff and you see the value in your business and you're taking action. Action without vision is just passing time. This is not your hobby. This is how you pay your bills. But vision with action can change the world. So I'm hoping we can help you guys change your business to where you guys want. You can visit our website at eventhawk360.com to see our prices and availability and see some of our testimonials. If you guys have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and put a Zoom link in the comments right now. And I'll go through some of your, oops, I did not see all of these comments. Hang on one second. All right, so Judge said, without being too pushy, what is the best way to get reviews without pushing it through emails? We personally really wanted to get reviews for a while. Email is great. You send an automated email 24 hours after the event or whatever, great. We found that text messaging is really, really great for reviews. Just like Joe said, you send them to a review page, but it's all about when you do it, right? We tried a lot of different things. We found for some reason, if you text people, for me anyways, Tuesday at 10 a.m., not 11, not 9, not Wednesday, Tuesday at 10 a.m., we got the most reviews. This was a big problem for us through the summer. My wife was in charge of texting them, and she would forget. She's like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. We noticed a big drop when you do it on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. No idea why. Same thing, if you did it at 11 instead of 10. So if you guys are using EventHawk, then we set up EventHawk now to where it'll automatically text your customers Tuesday at 10 a.m. exactly without you lifting a finger. You just import the contacts and it'll automatically do that. And just by doing that, we've gotten, like I said, we've taken companies from 70 to 232. Just recently, we had a company start with 130. Now they're already at like 260 within 2-3 months. These are reviews that you guys earned. So you guys really, I mean, this is work you already did. It's just, you earned these reviews, so you really got to get them. Any other questions? I don't see any. I'm going to go ahead and post the Zoom link. Hope it works. If it doesn't work, let me know. If you guys are not watching this live, then go to the website and we have a contact us page on there. You could send in a message and we will get back to you as soon as possible. I'm going to stay on here to make sure that this Zoom worked. Otherwise, I'll post something else. Give me some feedback. All right, it's big. All right, as soon as I get one person in here, see if somebody was able to access the Zoom link, I will go ahead and shut off the live. Is anybody trying to access the Zoom link and not getting it? Or are you guys just not joining? I know we did this last time and we did not get the Zoom to work. All right, we'll wait. Judd, if you can hear me, try to go ahead and join the Zoom. Is it letting you? All right, there we go. We got people coming in. All right, I'm gonna let you guys in this Zoom. Again, if you guys are not watching this live, go ahead and do the contact form and we will see you guys there. Hello, welcome. All right, let me know if you guys can't hear me. All right, we have Misty, Jumpy, and again, if you guys are not watching this live,